Welcome back to Coins Numismatic Series, where history, value, and rarity converge in the fascinating world of coins. Today we're diving deep into two Roosevelt dimes that have captured collectors' attention for decades. These are not your everyday dimes you might find in pocket change. These are the top two valuable Roosevelt dimes that can command incredible interest in the market. First, we'll explore the 1993 D. Roosevelt one-dime coin, and then we'll take a closer look at the elusive and legendary 1975 Roosevelt dime coin. Each of these coins tells its own story of American coinage, minting quirks, and collector intrigue. Let's begin. 1993 D. Roosevelt one-dime coin. The 1993 D. Roosevelt dime may not seem extraordinary at first glance. It was produced in Denver, one of the most prolific U.S. mint facilities. But when we peel back the layers of history, design, production, and collector markets, we uncover a much deeper narrative. Historical context. The Roosevelt dime series began in 1946, just a year after Franklin Delano Roosevelt's death. Chosen for his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, Roosevelt was also honored for his role in the March of Dimes campaign against polio. By the time 1993 rolled around, the dime had been in circulation for nearly 5 decades. The Denver Mint was busy striking billions of coins, including pennies, nickels, quarters, and, of course, dimes. 1993 was not a particularly turbulent year for coinage, but it was part of a decade where minting technology was undergoing subtle shifts. Advances in die-making and coin-striking meant sharper details and fewer inconsistencies. Yet, paradoxically, this was also the time when some remarkable errors slipped through. Design features. The obverse of the 1993 D dime features the familiar bust of Franklin D. Roosevelt, designed by John R. Sinek, the U.S. Mint's chief engraver in the mid-20th century. Roosevelt faces left, with the motto, Liberty, inscribed along the rim. Below the chin rests the phrase, In God We Trust, while the year 1993 is prominently displayed. To the right, under Roosevelt's neckline, lies the small mint mark, D, denoting Denver. On the reverse, we see the enduring symbolism of the Roosevelt dime, a torch at the center, representing liberty, flanked by an olive branch on the left for peace and an oak branch on the right for strength and independence. The inscriptions read, United States of America, E pluribus unum, and one dime. This balanced design has become iconic, unchanged for decades. Mintage. The Denver Mint produced a hefty total of over 766 million Roosevelt dimes in 1993. On paper, that number suggests abundance, and for the average circulation strike, these dimes remain easy to find. However, what makes the 1993 D stand out is not its general mintage but the survival of pristine, high-grade examples and certain rare error varieties. Market value. Most 1993 D dimes are worth face value in circulated condition, but collectors are always after the extremes, coins in immaculate mint state or with rare striking anomalies. A regular 1993 D in MS-65 condition might fetch $10 to $20, while those graded MS-67 or MS-68 can bring several $100s. At the highest levels of preservation, particularly coins with full torch bands visible on the reverse, known as full bands designations, the price jumps even higher. Auction records have shown single 1993 D Roosevelt dimes selling for thousands when certified in pristine condition. Notable errors. Errors are where the 1993 D shines for numismatists. Misstrikes, off-center strikes, broad strikes, double die obverse, and misaligned dies are just some of the varieties that have emerged. Particularly intriguing are the double die errors, where Roosevelt's features or the lettering appears doubled. These anomalies can easily elevate a dime worth 10 cents to hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Collectors actively seek out 1993 D dimes with strong and dramatic doubling, as they represent rare accidents of the minting process. Another fascinating error is the missing clad layer. Modern dimes are composed of a copper core sandwiched between nickel layers. When the clad layer is absent on one side, the coin reveals a reddish or bronze hue, making it visually striking and highly desirable. Collector interest. So why the interest in such a modern coin? For one, the Roosevelt dime series remains in active circulation, and collectors enjoy the challenge of assembling complete date and mint mark sets. The 1993 D is a relatively modern issue, but pristine examples and dramatic errors stand out as treasures. Additionally, as time passes, fewer untouched rolls of 1993 D dimes remain, making high-quality specimens increasingly scarce. For those pursuing registry sets, competitive collections graded and registered with third-party services, coins like the 1993 D in top condition become critical. In sum, the 1993 D Roosevelt dime is a modern classic, reminding us that even coins minted in the billions can carry stories of rarity, beauty, and value when preservation and error varieties come into play. 1975 Roosevelt 1 dime coin. If the 1993 D is a modern collectible, the 1975 Roosevelt dime takes us into the realm of legend. The 1975 issue is not just valuable, it is mysterious, controversial, and one of the most talked about coins in the Roosevelt dime series. Historical context. By 1975, the Roosevelt dime had already been in circulation for nearly 30 years. The nation was gearing up to celebrate its bicentennial in 1976, and the U.S. Mint was preparing special designs for the quarter, half-dollar, and dollar coins. The dime, however, retained its traditional Roosevelt design. The 1970s were a transformative era for American coinage, with rising metal costs prompting the full transition to clad coinage. Silver had disappeared from circulating dimes after 1964, but proof and special collector coins occasionally carried intrinsic value beyond face. The real intrigue of the 1975 Roosevelt dime centers on proof coinage. Proof coins are struck with polished dies and specially prepared planchets, intended for collectors rather than circulation. The San Francisco Mint was responsible for producing proof coins during this time, and nearly all bore the S mint mark. Design features. The obverse features Franklin D. Roosevelt's bust, just as in other issues, with Liberty, In God We Trust, and the year 1975. On proof coins, the S mint mark usually appears, denoting San Francisco. The reverse again showcases the torch, olive branch, and oak branch, with the inscriptions, United States of America, E pluribus unum, and 1 dime. What sets the 1975 dime apart is not its design but the fact that a few proof coins are known without the S mint mark, a striking omission that has captivated collectors. Mintage. In 1975, over 587 million Roosevelt dimes were minted for circulation at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. But the San Francisco Mint produced over 2.8 million proof dimes. Proof coins are usually perfect examples, carefully struck and packaged. Yet, among these millions, only a minuscule handful are known to lack the S mint mark. Market value. Ordinary 1975 dimes in circulation are common and worth face value. Even proof dimes with the S mint mark are affordable to collectors. But the no S proof dimes, those extraordinary accidents, have reached astronomical values. In high-profile auctions, a 1975 no S Roosevelt dime has sold for over $300,000. The rarity of these pieces, combined with their undeniable place in minting history, makes them one of the most valuable modern U.S. coins. Notable errors. The absence of the mint mark is itself the defining error. Normally, proof dies are carefully prepared, and the mint mark is an intentional part of the die. The 1975 no S dimes represent a failure in this preparation process. It is believed that a few dies were mistakenly left without the mint mark, and a tiny number of coins struck from these dies made it into proof sets released to collectors. Because the number of known specimens is so small, fewer than a handful confirmed, the no S 1975 Roosevelt dime is considered one of the holy grails of modern numismatics. Collector interest. The 1975 Roosevelt dime with no S mint mark generates enormous excitement in the numismatic community. For advanced collectors, owning such a coin is not just about its monetary value, it's about holding a tangible piece of U.S. mint history. The rarity ensures that demand will always exceed supply. Even collectors who cannot afford one find the story fascinating, fueling broader interest in the Roosevelt dime series. In contrast, regular 1975 dimes circulate widely and remain accessible. They serve as a reminder that extraordinary value can sometimes hide in the most ordinary-looking coins. The hunt for rare errors, like the no S proof, keeps collectors searching through proof sets and coin shows with the hope of making a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Conclusion. The 1975 Roosevelt dime encapsulates the thrill of numismatics, a coin produced by the millions, yet transformed into a legendary rarity through a simple omission. Alongside the 1993 D dime, it represents two ends of the collector spectrum, one modern, one mid-century, one prized for pristine condition and rare varieties, the other revered for its almost mythical rarity. Together, they demonstrate why coin collecting remains such an exciting pursuit. So there you have it, the top two most valuable Roosevelt dimes, the 1993 D and the 1975. Each tells a different story, but both prove that hidden treasures can emerge from even the smallest coins in our change. Whether you're a casual collector or a serious numismatist, the thrill of discovery is what keeps the passion alive. Keep searching, keep learning, and who knows, maybe one day you'll uncover one of these legendary dimes yourself. Stay tuned for more deep dives into the world of rare and valuable coins here on Coins Numismatic Series. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more incredible stories from the fascinating universe of numismatics.